Well, hello and welcome to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. This is round 12 of the NCC BMW Car Club of America final race. Steve Vicacci, several drivers, not going to be here tonight. It is, I guess, vacation week here in the National Capital chapter before everybody's going back. Summer break and back to school and work. Everybody is going. Currently have Chris Hill, provisional pole. Darren Treakle Insurance in P2, Brian Kennedy in P3. And we are done with qualifying here, letting hot laps count, flying laps count. A very small field tonight, but we'll have fun nevertheless. And a lot of series that we're running are winding down for the year. We've got a couple more weeks over in the RIL series, a couple more weeks of the Daredevil Turbo series that we're also broadcasting here on Raceverse. Yeah, Chris Hill's going to take that pole though. So let's just pull this up. Very small. But Chris Hill there, P1. Darren Treakle, P2. Brian Kennedy, P3. Andrew Stutzman, P4. Colin Kortanek, P5. Perry Duncan, P6. Let's go on to final two cars. Peter Yerkes, P7. Aspen Belvin, P8. I think this is a track like kind of everybody knows. It is one of the tracks that comes with the service for free. iRacing has this model where they kind of sell you the tracks, but you get a bunch of them for free, a bunch of cars for free. Can also mention we'll be broadcasting next season as well, as we're going to get lining up to the grid here. Should be, are we doing a short? Yeah, this will be a short pace lap, setting up for 40 minutes here tonight. And we'll get to the calendar at some point during the broadcast here if we can, since we'll need something to talk about as this field spreads out. Let's get this going here. Although, I'm not sure the calendar has been released for everybody. Yeah, Chris Hill on the pole. Darren Treakle saving any little bit of fuel he can. He's going to be late onto the grid here. Everybody's gridded out. We're waiting on Darren here. But yeah, we can thank Darren from Treakle Insurance. We'll get to the track here. 11 corner course here, Mazda, well, it used to be Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. I always call it that. It's WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. IndyCar runs here. We have MotoGP. I don't think they run here anymore though. Lots of sports car stuff. And that's what we're running into the lights here as the Porsche pace car is going to duck in. And we'll head on final corner, turn 11. And they're going to rush down to turn 1. It's just the kink on the straightaway is turn 1. Turn 2 is the Andretti hairpin. I kind of call it turn 1, but it is turn 2 by the official map. Side by side they go. Roaring down. Turn 2, Andretti hairpin they go. 40 minutes here. And that's all she wrote there, folks. Now, it is a very difficult track to pass on. As Hill has a slight error, Treakle looks up inside. That's how you make your passes here, is you've got to force the driver in front of you to make a mistake. And Darren's looking about any way he can to get around. Through turn 5 they go. A fast left-hander in turn 6. And they're going to head up to the infamous corkscrew top of the hill. Here they come. Let's see if we can get a good camera angle. That wasn't the best on that. We'll see if we can get it on the next lap. Good view of that corkscrew downhill section they go. I'm going to go on board when we cross the start finish. Let's go with Brian up here. Out of the final corner they go. So across, start, finish. This is turn 1, the slight kink here. Into the hairpin as we saw on the first lap. This is one corner, although it's a double apex corner. Into a right-hander in turn 3. Into turn 4, which is really a high-speed corner, but you're just always taking just every inch of the track. Whoa, you don't want to drop a tire there, Brian. And then they're heading up to turn 5. You can go wide here. Turn 6, another really fast corner turn. And then we're heading up the hill. We've been heading up the hill, but this is the Ray Hall Straight. And we're going to have a series of corners, 7, 8, 9. And this is the top of the corkscrew. Down we go. So I try to go wide, get a good entrance into turn 9 here. And then we're setting up for turn 10. Losing that sun to the west. Final corner. And that is a lap here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Andrew Stutzman in the mirrors of Brian Kennedy here. So let's see if we can get a good camera angle on the corkscrew. I'm gonna see if we can pull up the schedule. I might be doing a big spoiler here, but we'll get a look at this during this race here. I know I've got it somewhere in my files. So for next season, we're gonna be switching over to the BMW GT3. We're running the BMW GTE car right now. Let's see if a little bit better camera angle here. Nope, that's worse. There we go. That is the camera angle we want. I'm gonna go rewind there just to show you guys what we want to see. Slow-mo. Hagerty Insurance. All the sponsors here. Treakle Insurance. This is the corkscrew as we want to see. That kind of just drops several stories. Not Dover Speedway, though, where they tell you, oh, it drops 10 stories in the corners. Some sort of made-up fact there that they like to use to promote the track. There's Scott, and there is the schedule. Let's see if we can get this pulled up for you guys. Gotta get it loaded up into the broadcast here, though. Chris Hill leads. Brian Kennedy, P3. Andrew Stutzman, P4. Colin Kortanek leading the into this train here. Perry Duncan, P6. Peter Yerksa and Belvin, okay. There might have been an issue there because he's hopped up to, started 8th and he's hopped up to 6th. My mistake. We're about to get this schedule going here. All right, well, I'll have it now ready. We'll wait a few minutes. I think best battle on the track. Yeah, we've got that battle at the front, but I think the action's going to come from Kortanek having a bad exit of the final corner there. We'll go on board with him as our camera goes through the walls here in the virtual world. Stutzman hopping the corner there in turn 3, hopping in that curb. Although we have a small field, these drivers are going to be giving it their all here. Darren and Chris up there, P1, P2. Chris is very accustomed to this track. I think everybody is, like I said at the beginning, in a way, because this is the free track. This is a track that is on like every racing sim ever made, just about. I'm being not entirely truthful there, but it is in most of them. And ever since we were kids, we've been playing whatever video game that probably had this on the PlayStation console or whatever it might have been, your Xbox One. So very familiar track. Whereas Chris Hill here, though, in the first position, he's been driving this track as part of his day job at times. He was telling us that Sonoma, he spent a lot more time at Sonoma, but here's WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, and it's not too far of a drive from Sonoma. You can kind of tell by the, we're in California, but you can kind of tell this is a seasonal kind of thing. I was discussing with a friend of mine earlier today about Sonoma. Sometimes it's green, but most race fans think of it as almost like a deserty track, but it's really just a bunch of dead grass. And it's kind of a similar story here in at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. We're on the coast here in California. Darren having a couple series of bad laps there. He's dropped back. Battle for the podium position, though, is Stutzman, Kennedy, Stutzman, and Cortanic. And Stutzman gets around Kennedy. We're going to get a replay of that. Out of the corkscrew. There you go. It's tough when you've got this pressure from behind to put good laps in. And Kennedy was feeling this pressure. I was hoping Stutzman did not give him the chrome horn. Oh, he might have had a slowdown or something. What's that about? Tough break there I think that's a slowdown. Let's see if we can spot where that happened. I had one of those myself on a Tuesday race. Where was that? I'm not seeing what it was. Huh. All right, well, that'll put Stutzman on the podium here. And Kennedy under attack from Cortanic. Unless Kennedy was just like, I can't handle this pressure anymore. Go on by, Stutzman. I suspect not, but you never know. 30 minutes to go, 10 minutes into the race. We're heading into the darkness here in California. A little bit of a lockup there from Stutzman's going to put him into pressure from Brian here. Cortanic's also dropped back. Let's go on board with Brian Kennedy here. Dives inside into the hairpin. Not gonna work. Oh, we had Aspen Belvin back there getting a little bit squirrely there. Perry Duncan's going to get by him. We'll get a quick replay of this. This is into the hairpin, Andretti hairpin. I see Scott Kim is tuned in here. So, Aspen Belvin gets some, a little bit of a blinky there from Perry, but he gets it going. No harm, no foul, no contact, so that's good. This was back on board with Darren, but I really want to see is Kennedy here. So I see Scott is watching the race. Scott, I'm going to drop the schedule here in a moment, so hopefully that was okay. Ooh, that's interesting. C4 and M4, very interesting. Kennedy here. I like that. I like that. Z4 and M4. GT3. And what was was a Z4? Was that a GT3 as well? I believe it was. Only to be replaced by the new one. But yeah, I don't want to cut away from this battle here either, though. But let me bring up the schedule here. There we go. It's sized up perfectly. Almost. Not quite. And I'm gonna mess things up. That's not what we wanted. Hopefully. We can see part of a schedule. Well, we're going to start with Summit Point. We're not going to be broadcasting that one, but we'll be starting broadcasting Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course on September 9th, followed by Sebring, Brands Hatch, Watkins Glen, Detroit Grand Prix, probably my favorite circuit on the schedule, other than Indianapolis Road, of course. I love Detroit street circuit. Mosport, Road Atlanta, Zandvoort. We ran Zandvoort in maybe Oktoberfest season. We're probably going to be right exactly a year from that. Then we're going to run VIR Charlotte Road. Crazy track there. I don't know if we've run that one here before. And then finishing off the season, 12th race is Hockenheim. Apologies that this was not completely correct here. So I don't know what the size of that image was, but that's what we've got, and I don't want to mess with things too much on my end. I might have moved things around. We would have had any pictures here. I see I can do some crazy stuff, and not always a good idea. Although maybe, I think I got it here. I'm gonna lock everything. Stutzman still ahead. Kennedy had an issue there. And Kortanek has gotten by. Oh, and now Kennedy, some weird stuff going on here. Up at the front, Chris Hill, P1. 2.5 seconds over Darren Treakle. 14 seconds to Stutzman. 2 seconds back to Kortanek. Kennedy right there. Another 7 seconds back to Perry Duncan, 2 seconds back to Aspen Belvin, and 4 seconds just about to Yerxa, but we want to stay on this battle between Kortanek and Kennedy. Let's get a good camera angle on this one. And let's see if I can get this schedule looking a little bit better than it is currently. This should be it. Why is it not it? I see, there we go. We're moving that. Look at that. Live television right there. We've got our schedule. So there it is. I did not realize before this moment that Scott told me that, so that we're running both the M4 GT3 and Z4. So this is going to be really exciting here. 8 o'clock. New season of NCC BMW Car Club here. So there's your schedule. You're trying to get a screenshot, there it is. So. And of course, we've got our valuable sponsors in Treakle Insurance. If you're looking for auto, home, business, and life insurance, they do collector car coverage, race to car, track day coverage. Head on over to treakleinsurance.com. They've partnered with that Hagerty Insurance for that kind of thing, that track day and car day, track day and vintage car, collector car kind of stuff. So check them out, treakleinsurance.com. Keep an eye on what's going on here. Kennedy's just having a heck of a time. I think his tires have maybe gone off or something, because he's just here and there making mistakes. And you don't want to do that, because I think we've got an incident limit at some point in time. And then you're going to have to make an extra pit. I think everyone's where I'm going to be here in a couple weeks, and then back in October, I'm going to be on vacation. But yeah, I see Sten Cellier also out there in the crowd tonight. Of course, we can bring up for Sten here. Well, we've got Beltway Brewing Company. This will also cycle to SEO Mike, but we've got Beltway Brewing Company, and they're located in Sterling, Virginia, and they proudly represent the BMV. You can check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lager, sour stouts, and even seltzers, and they have flights and empanadas by Peruvian Brothers available over in the tap room. I always wonder if I'm even saying that correctly, the empanadas. Maybe not. For all things Beltway, though, head on over to beltwaybrewco.com or follow them on all the social medias. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at beltwaybrewco.com. You don't want to go what Cortanic has on the side of his car. You don't want to go to Hooters. You want to go to Beltway Brewing Company for your particular beers that you're looking for. PRI on the side of Chris Hill's car. Ooh, Darren's had an issue as well here tonight, because he's back 15 seconds over Hill. A lot of drivers making some mistakes out here tonight. Let me see if I can find what happened. Let's see here. Ooh, Chris, that was Kennedy taking a ride. Not seeing anything there. What about here? Basically, I get some timestamps for some things that happen, and I'm not quite seeing it yet, but let's see what happens. A lot of off tracks here tonight. Well, let's see what the problem is here. Okay, well, let's go back to live pictures. Can't find that. Cortanic has caught up to Stutzman, though. Kennedy's about 4.5 seconds off of this. We will be expecting a pit stop as Cortanic is going to go inside into the corkscrew. They go. Thinks wiser of it. It's tough to go. It's tough to make a pass there. Cortanic wants to go right now. Into turn 2, Andretti hairpin they go. Oh, a little bit. I saw a little bit of a fishtail from Stutzman. He's feeling that pressure from Cortanic. Go in car. Whoa, a little bit of too much rumble strip, too much curb there for Cortanic. 18 minutes left to go in this one. So we didn't quite get to one of our other sponsors, so let me quickly go to them. SEO Mike. So SEO Mike is specialized in organic search engine optimization. They've been doing it since 1997. Before anybody even heard about search engine optimization, they've been doing it. So over the last 24 years, they've worked with a wide variety of websites, over 4,000 of them, in a wide variety of industries to achieve strong search ranking. And that has helped those companies achieve growth in traffic, and that increases, of course, sales and revenue, of course. So that's what you want to do. SEOmike.com. All of our sponsors in this series have the easiest websites to remember. It's SEOmike.com, BeltwayBrewCo.com, TreakleInsurance.com. Very easy stuff. We've got Perry Duncan, first car in the pits. He's going to be good to go to the end. See if Hill is thinking about pitting here too. And he is in the pits. See what Treakle does. And Treakle dives into the pits as well. All right, that is Stutzman comes into the pits as well. Cortanic gonna be out here and lead a lap at least, so good for him. Let's see if he stays out. Going to be stretching this fuel. I suspect he's going to be coming in though. He's got Hill, even though Hill has pit, he's 5 seconds behind Cortanic. Everybody's pit other than Cortanic. Yerkes had just finished his pit, he's coming out. This is a really tricky pit lane. If you thought the Andretti hairpin was tough, normally that pit lane is its own version of the Andretti hairpin. It's easy to go off there. Here we go, Colin coming in the pits. And Hill's going to take that, and he's going to take over the lead. Occasionally you'll see a car still lead his lap coming into the pits. Not going to happen for Cortanic here. Through that pit stop, Darren here, not sure the issue, but he has taken an extended pit stop, and Stutzman's got around him, and he is going to be reeled in by Darren here, so this is what we want to watch. Let's pump up the volume here on these cars. That's Cortanic in the blue car up there. So Cortanic gets out ahead of these. He's in second right now. Darren's in fourth. So he's going to have to work on this to get back up to the podium. These guys are going to be sweating a little bit here. Darren's, they know Darren's fast. Darren's tough to fight here. Stutzman side by side into the corkscrew they go. And Darren's going to make that work. Like I said earlier, not easy. Side by side through the corkscrew they go. Not an easy place to make a pass, but Darren makes it happen. Sets his sights on Colin up there. Hunting down Colin here. Easier said than done when you're making one of these passes. Literally, Hill has a 30-second lead right now, though, because of the mishap there. We'll have to ask Darren what happened there in the podium interview. Over the corkscrew, over the crest they go, downhill now. 10 laps to go, we're estimating. Of the tracks we've been, this is one of the shorter ones at a minute 20, or minute 20, yeah, just about per lap. He's right on that bumper is Darren on Cortanic here. And we see Stutzman back there. We also see Kennedy in that. There could be a battle here. Once, I don't want to say it, but once Darren probably going to get around Colin here. No disrespect to Colin there, but Darren is super fast. He has got wins this season. Looks like Colin's going to go defensive into turn 6. They go into the Andretti, or sorry, the Rahal straight. Side by side they go. We've seen Darren pull this off. Hard onto the brakes they go, and Colin here. So he didn't fight it too hard. He did what he could, not dangerously, and he knows he can still get a podium here. And that wouldn't be his first of the season either. Now Darren has 30 seconds to the next driver up there. That's a tall order at this point. So let's get... we'll do an inverse through the field. We'll start with Peter Yerksapak in P8. Aspen Belvin, the Intimidator, here in P7. It's going to be the easiest wild card interview we've had this season, this one. Got to keep it on track. Got Perry Duncan in P6. Perry's come on strong in this season. One of our newer drivers. Really awesome looking car. Brian here in P5. Brian was part of our 39 car field in the Formula Indy series. Standing starts. Everybody made it through turn 1. 39 Indy cars at Indianapolis Road. successfully. Thereafter, I can't say so much about everybody being successful through the lap anyway. All we ask is for everybody to get through turn 1. That's what the driver briefing is about. But yeah, Brian was one of those. As was Chris Hill. Andrew Stutzman, P4. Let's do some static shots here. I love these static shots. You can't quite get the sense of speed of cars when the camera's panning and rotating with the cars, but when you've got a static cam, then you know how fast these cars are going. Through turn 6 onto the Ray Hall straight. Awesome static cams they have here in Laguna Seca. There's our corkscrew downhill. That's the shot we want. These 3 cars are the battle for that podium position, and I think it's going to get close as we head here. This was a lap with the static cams. Kind of an even distance. Oh, I think Brian might have had an issue back there. Let's see if we can go find... Oh, yep, he's still having some issues. Yeah, he suddenly went back 10 seconds. I'm not sure. Showing off track here. Doesn't look too bad to me. Looks good to me there too. Showing something here as well. Well, that's not the right driver. Here we go. Not seeing anything here either. So, not sure where he lost that. But yes, we are really spread out here tonight. Trying to give everybody some good shots, though, of their cars. And we kind of see it's getting really dark here now. We've got about 5.5 minutes left to go. We're estimating about 5 laps. Titanic. Stutzman's car's got a little bit of damage on that front. I think I can see ever so slightly. But yeah, this news, as we discussed earlier, with the new schedule here, fall 2001 schedule. All of our sponsors staying on board here: Beltway Brewing Company, SEO Mike, Treakle Insurance, Hagerty Insurance. Gonna keep us broadcasting for 9 of the 12 races. You can see our little Raceverse logo on the broadcast. Once again, Summit Point season opener. This is like season opener of just about every season, other than maybe the Oktoberfest, which was all European courses. So obviously West Virginia is not a European course. So Indianapolis Road. Hey, Scott, if you're listening out there, Indianapolis Road can mean one of 2 things. There's the road course, and there's the bike course. Now, if you tell these drivers we're running the bike course, none of them are going to say that's a good thing, but take my word for it, the bike course, that's what you want to do. Followed by Sebring, probably just running the main on Sebring, although they have one circuit as well. Brands Hatch, you can run full course. You can run the Indy course. I don't recommend the Indy course. It's a very short lap, almost like a Lime Rock kind of thing. Don't recommend that. Watkins Glen, you got a lot of options there. You can run the Cup layout. You can run the boot. You can run boot with no bus stop. You can do that. Detroit Grand Prix, awesome street circuit. No other options. It is just awesome street circuit is the only option. Mosport, have we run Mosport before? Canadian Motorsports Park. I don't know if we have, but we're going to be heading up to Canada for that one, followed by Road Atlanta. Zandvoort, that will be broadcast. So we're not going to be broadcasting Mosport or Road Atlanta. That's too bad, but I'm going to be on vacation there. So congratulations to me. Virginia International Raceway, another kind of home track along with Summit Point on November 4th. Charlotte Roval, I don't think we've run Charlotte Roval, but it's kind of a NASCAR road course. Charlotte Motor Speedway, they built a road course there. It is pretty awesome. I don't know how it would go in these cars, but watch out for the walls a little bit. Same advice over in Detroit. Hockenheim Ring, watch out for the curbs, is all I can say. So that is our 12-round Schedule 9 broadcast here next season on Raceverse. Looking forward to it, and I hope we're running Indy bike. The Indy bike, just FYI there, Scott, it's a little bit of a meme, but it is, like, everybody will complain about it, but it is fun. Literally everyone will complain about it. I sponsored it in another series, IndyCar series, where, you know, I got to sponsor it, so I got to pick the track. Nobody realized, hey, it's Indy bike. I figured. So they're going to be scanning a new, doing an update to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here on iRacing. So the road course that is currently there is not the one the IndyCars ran last weekend. And they actually have been running that course since 2014. And the scan is from 2009, so that course didn't quite exist. It's almost the same course. There's just some slight variations, but yeah, they're going to be rescanning Indianapolis Motor Speedway, probably coming out in the spring of 2022. Yeah, good to know. I'm blanking on the Mosport, but yeah, it's a lot of people like Mosport. Our clock is running out. We're showing 2 laps to go, but we might run out of time before, and this could be the final lap here. Chris Hill's going to have a commanding victory. Everything's spread out. Treakle there in P2, Cortanic P3, no pressure from Stutzman. He's 4 seconds back. Kennedy P5. Kennedy's going to be a little disappointed he let this podium get away from him. Belvin's going to be P6. Oh, yep, and this is the 100% the final lap. We switched over to checkers. Oh, we've got Yerxa out in the grass there, or dirt. That's Hill going to take the victory here. Are we going to let somebody... Nope. Yeah, my league Formula Indy is not going to be running Laguna at night because we don't have lights on the cars. Some donuts from our winner there. That's good. We're going to be hopefully that somebody gives them a launch here, or they launch. Here it comes. There we go. And I hear some engine noise. Oh, I don't know why that punched away on us. Here we go. Kennedy still here? Okay. Well, that is it for us here tonight. Let's get our podium interviews on. I'll be right back while I set this up. All right, let's get... I don't know why sometimes Discord likes to have its beeping sounds, but other times not. Let's bring up Chris Hill. Hey, Chris, this is Matt up here. Pretty straightforward race for you from the beginning. Darren did challenge you for a little while, but he just kind of faded away, and then I think he had his own... He had a really long pit stop. I'll have to ask him what happened there. He had a 24-second pit stop, whereas yours was 11.9. But tell me about your race. Obviously, you're big in Sonoma. You know a lot about Laguna, too. But tell us about your race.
It was, it was pretty hard. Little bummed to not have as big of a field tonight, but it was, I was looking good for a little bit there with Darren, and then, I think he made a mistake in turn 2 or something like that, and that kind of gave me a little bit of a lead, and then it was just kind of trying to keep it clean, and the whole rest of the race, and not do anything silly, and that's pretty much it. There wasn't much else besides that. It actually got to a point where it felt like it was an endless race there for a while. It felt such a short lap,
That could be a problem, though. That's where you can end up throwing it off the track or something, is when you just stop paying attention or something like that. But yeah, I think we had a lot of people on vacation this week, so that's where we ended up here. A little bit too bad to finish off the seasons, particularly since it's Laguna and it's one of the great tracks in the United States, really. I mean, we have a bunch of great tracks, but this one's pretty iconic, I think. So,
yeah, I agree. It's definitely one of my favorites. Funny, in California, most of the really good ones are up in NorCal, and that and Sears, even though it's not called Sears, whatever, it still will. And and even Thunder Hill is a lot of fun. I mean, there's something about the NorCal tracks are pretty good. And wish we had some really good ones like that down here in SoCal.
The Four Sears for a little while. Back when iRacing came out, it was actually called this. They used to call it.
Well, there was Infinity. It was Sears, and there was Infinium.
There you go.
Yeah, that branding change took place while I was working up there back in the day. So.
All the old kind of video games, if you played PlayStation or even back probably Nintendo, they all called it, Sears Point. So everybody, for the longest time, just called it Sears Point. You probably, like you just said, you just called it Sears. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I still call Laguna, I still call it Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. I haven't quite got WeatherTech in my brain yet. So.
Yeah, I can't even think about that anymore. It's like so weird. It was a Mazda track for so long, and that was what it was. And now who knows? But still one of the favorite tracks. So, bummer, a little light showing, but hopefully next season, if we run that one again, we'll have.
Have you heard about next season?
I have not really.
Okay.
I think we're running back to the GT3, which I actually really like that car. I mean, a lot of people like the GTE, but I really like the GT3 a lot.
Well, the schedule is on the broadcast here tonight, but something I learned on the broadcast is we're going to be running both GT3s, BMW. So we're going to be running the Z4 and the M3 prototype. Although it's not a prototype anymore, I don't think. Maybe
interesting to see if the other one can still compete with it. I mean, because it hasn't had all the updates, but I hope it can. That'd be really cool. I really like that car.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. I guess whatever car somebody likes, they get to drive it. So I haven't actually.
Well, that's going to put a lot more into the testing time too. If it's which car do you slick for that week, unless you have to pick for the whole season. That would be interesting.
Yeah, these are rules that Scott's going to have to define here. I assume everybody's going to be able to pick a car each week, and they get to pick whichever one they think's the best, So
For
opening
sure.
up a can of worms, you might not have realized it.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be interesting. That'd be cool. I definitely like the old Z4. That'd be super
Yeah.
awesome to have that back. So
It's not, I don't think they're calling it Legacy Z4 yet, though. It's just not really used on the service anymore. But yeah, great
yeah,
season. Shout out to sponsors, that kind of stuff, and um, anybody watching, that kind of thing.
for sure. Well, yeah, always got to mention the wife, of course, thanking her as usual. Definitely supports me in this, and I always appreciate that. And then beyond that, of course, PRI, our Precision Racing Instruction, our private instruction company, would work with people both on the simulator and in the real world, and yeah, always available to help anybody out who wants a hand, and feel free to reach out. You know, even if you just have a question or whatever, always like to help people, even if they're not a client yet or nothing like that. So you can check us out on either Facebook or Instagram, and other than that, obviously, big thanks to Scott for putting on another great season. I always enjoy running with these guys, and you know, just well organized, really nice group of people that I just don't. This is one of the races I'll try to do my best not to miss at any point in time. You know, and so I definitely enjoy all the fun. So looking
Understood.
forward to the next season, and we'll see how it goes from there.
All right.
So,
Well, you take care, Chris, and I'll be seeing you next Tuesday, I guess. So,
for sure,
yeah.
yeah, I got to get my practice on here for the old Monza next week. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Hopefully, I have a
right.
little better week than last week. So yeah,
All right.
see
You
you
take
next week.
care.
All right.
All right. We'll bring up Darren here.
Yep.
Hey, Darren. This is Matt up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, Matt, I do.
Well, you ended up. I don't know what happened on your pit stop because it was longer. Did you decide to take full fuel, or did you decide to take extra tires, or was there damage or something? You just tell me about it.
I was there with Chris for a while, and then I screwed up a couple of times, and then I really screwed up and went off going into turn one. I just couldn't get slowed down, and I was like, I'm gonna. The other night I played around with just taking right side tires, and so I was like, you know what? I'm far enough back. I don't really think I'm gonna catch him, but I'm gonna just do right side tires, and if he makes a mistake or two or goes off, maybe that'll help me get a little closer. Just because there's a lot of right hand turn or left hand turns, and they're pretty fast. So. Yeah, so I didn't take a fuel. I took whatever my normal fuel was, and then I took right side only tires.
That's an interesting. It's like a little bit of a NASCAR kind of thing, really. Although I guess in like Le Mans or whatever, like sports car races, sometimes they do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
too.
sometimes they do it. I know, it's a little different, but a lot of the front wheel drive cars, they'll only take front wheel. They'll only
wheels,
take
yeah.
put the front tires on. They won't do all four. But I was just at that point. I was so far back, I wasn't going to catch him unless he royally screwed up.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like let's just kind of play around and see what happens. And that thing would turn like crazy on left-hand turns with those new right side tires. But yeah, I knew this was going to be a tough one. He's fast here. My lap times were pretty similar. To him. I actually was on a really good lap. I was about a half a second down on my or up on my last lap, and unfortunately, I got impeded a little bit by someone, and it messed it up. But I was a good half second. I probably would have jumped him at least on the pole had I not. I only had 2 turns to go, so unless I screwed up the last 2 turns. It would have been I would have been either on pole or right there with him.
And then it's super tough to pass here too. So like if you had gotten around him, it might have been like he might have not been able to get around you. So
yeah, and that's and of course on the beginning there I think it was lap 1. I almost he messed up a little bit. I think he got a little squirrely, and I tried to jump and pounce, but I couldn't quite get there, and then once he got in front, I mean, I pretty much knew that once he got in front, I didn't really stand a chance unless he made a mistake, you know. But I made too many mistakes. I think at one point I forgot to turn the tires, thing off to not take any tires. So I was turning that off and I messed up a little bit. And then at one point I missed my braking point looking at my fuel or something going into turn one, and that shot me off the outside of turn one. And I was like, well, at that point I knew it was pretty much over racing him. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you watch our the podium interviews, but I always do these like slow-mos of your cars from some point in the race. But I had a good one here where it's got you kind of straight line on the corkscrew. So it looked good because I got it in slow-mo, so it looks fun.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the corkscrew. Yeah, that was another place I screwed up. I couldn't get woed down one time. Once it went to hell in a handbasket pretty quick. I mean, once I started messing up, it just kind of.
Well, with the lower car count here tonight, you had kind of a safety net where you could make these kind of mistakes just testing the track, basically. Maybe it was a little bit of a test session like you did with your strategy there of only changing the right side tires and then trying that kind of thing for once,
Yeah, it would be kind of neat if they would do it in such a way that it would be kind of fun if they did it in a way like you had to change tires, but you could choose like kind of like F1, you could choose between a soft or a hard compound kind of thing, I say that, but then if they did it, then I'd be mad because you'd have to probably strategize and really think about it, At least this way.
I got an idea here. Back in R Factor, I don't know if did you ever do R Factor?
I didn't know.
They had some options. I mean, iRacing is so much better, okay? But they had some options where you could like increase the wear of the tires, like, so that it would like wear twice as much. Like if the tires could take 50 laps, if you made it twice, then they could take 25 laps instead. So that you can do just things like that. Right now, you can only like mess with the fuel. That's the only thing you can do. So it'd be cool if they could add something like that. It's like people have been talking about adding ballast to the cars, like adding weight to certain cars.
Yeah.
You could do that back in R Factor, like add it to specific cars. So it would be cool. Like it just, obviously not every league's going to use it, but it would be cool if they had some options for leagues to do something like that.
Well, you can add weight, but it's kind of on an honor system, right?
So exactly. It's honor. This would be like Scott would go in and add, 50 kilos weight to certain drivers.
Whoever's.
Yeah. There'd be a system for it. Yeah.
Which would be neat, like in a league, because it would be kind of like British touring car, where the winner of the first race usually gets rewards weight, for the next race, and then I think they have to run with it with one or two races until they can pull it out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have one thought about that, and I'll go back to my broadcast colleague. He does some broadcasting with me. He says this is a NASCAR world, and we're living in it, And so, since that's not in NASCAR, it's not coming to iRacing.
You're exactly right. It's it is, unfortunately, it is a NASCAR world.
iRacing particularly, yeah. So
but NASCAR is starting to do more road courses now.
This next gen car, I think, is kind of built particularly for that. Honestly, I think it is totally built for that. So next year it's debuting.
Yeah, it'd be nice I haven't seen them because I'm not a big NASCAR watcher, but if they did something like the V8 supercars.
Yep, I swear this car, I bought it. I'm not a NASCAR guy either, but it's got 5 gears. It has a diffuser on the back of the car.
Okay.
So it is a different stock car quote than anything you've seen before. I don't know how it's going to race on the ovals. I think it might, in fact, be boring, and they might make a mistake with it. But it could be good on the road courses. So
yeah, because there's full sequentials too now, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So
and I think they're going to the center lock.
I believe so
on the wheels. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
so it's
well,
NASCAR's taking a whole new look.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, great season here, Darren.
Yeah.
Maybe not your best showing tonight, even though you got a second place. But thanks for sponsoring the series. Take any time you want for any final shout out, sponsors, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Treakle Insurance Agency. We do auto, home, business, and life insurance, and Medicare supplements as well for anyone, any seniors that might be listening out there. And Hagerty Motorsports for coming on board with us. They do collector car coverage as well as race car coverage, track day coverage, and then our other sponsors. We have SEO Mike. We have Sten over at Beltway Brewery. Haven't had a beer yet over there, but I'm going to get over there at some point. Of course, Matt for doing the broadcast, Scott for setting this up. Did I miss anybody? Chris, I don't know if he's on board yet, but he's coming on board with his driving and coaching.
PRI, yep.
Yeah, PRI. So, yeah, I think I hit them all.
Well, a great season here, and we'll be seeing you. Have you, I think I talked to Chris about it, but have you seen the new schedule or anything about it? We're going over the GT3 cars, and when I say cars, I mean cars, because it sounds like we're doing both the Z4 and the M4 prototype. Although
we are, and that's going to make things interesting. It's unfortunate that they don't really do anything with the Z4 anymore, because if they actually did something and you could get some good setups or the old setups would work, it would be kind of fun and interesting having the two different cars that out there racing. I have not seen the schedule, so I don't know what we're going to be doing, but it should be fun. I like the GT3 cars.
So it's on the broadcast. I don't know if I was supposed to show it, but I did. And Scott was talking on chat, and he didn't yell at me in the chat either. So I think it's probably good. But yeah, he'll be releasing it, I'm sure, here soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, a great season here, Darren, and we'll see you back in a few weeks.
Sounds good. Take care, man.
Take care. Hey, Colin, got you on the broadcast here. Got a copy?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Good. Well, tell me about your race. You started 5th, finished 3rd. You and Brian and Andrew were kind of all mixing it up there at times.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that first half of the race was tight. I was just trying to be patient. Definitely been in one of those spots before, either 3rd, 4th, or 5th, right there, in a mix like that, and have made the mistakes or succumbed to pressure, and just kind of was just patient. And I guess I just had a better pit. I was actually a little bit nervous when I pulled into the pit. I was a little bit short, and it added a little delay, but I still came out ahead of Andrew, and just kind of kept it smooth and consistent, and was able to stay in 3rd and finish the race.
Well, very good. But yeah, you guys were all battling really hard. That was fun. Brian, I think Brian just had like a little bit too many mistakes there, and he just slightly dropped back there. But it was a good battle, nevertheless.
Yeah, that kink in turn 6, it was a nemesis to him. I actually watched our race from last season, and Brian and I were battling for 3rd on that one too. I believe it was 3rd, or maybe it was for 4th. I'm sorry, but same thing where we're really tight, and just one of us just couldn't get that turn just right, trying to push and keep up and do some good racing. So, unfortunately, I got Brian, but that first half of the race, that was great. I think we were like a second half apart from each other. Just the 3 of us. So, very reminiscent of, the Chris Hill, Darren, and Andrew Ficacci, or Steve Ficacci show. So it was nice to kind of, do the the B team version. So that was exciting.
Even last week we had a little bit of that. I mean, the best race, best was like 4th to 8th. I want to say was like
right. That was like Dean. I think Andrew was in the mix there too, and maybe Aspen as well, and Dave. Dave was in there too. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, it's been, every week, right? The racing gets better, more competitive, and cleaner too, right? But also just, more exciting because of it. So.
Well, next season, I've talked to other guys about this. We're heading. Have you seen the schedule, or have you seen the cars that we're doing?
I've not, but I've heard some rumors.
So we're going to be running the GT3s, and when I say GT3s, I mean GT3s because it's both both BMW GT3s, so the Z4 and the M4.
Very cool.
If that's still, I keep saying, is that still the prototype or is it finished now? It might be finished now. I'm not sure. But yeah,
those are both fun cars. That'll be interesting to see them on track. And is it going to be a commitment for the season? Like once you pick?
Yeah, I don't know the rules yet because Chris had that same exact thought when I brought that up. He's like, "Is that? Do you have to pick one, or is it arrive with what you want on a weekly basis?" You know?
Yeah. No, that'll be cool. The week off, next week works out. I'll be at VIR for the weekend on Thursday night, so I wouldn't be able to race. So the timing works out great. But no, looking forward to taking a look at the schedule and doing the fall season.
Sounds good. Hey, any shout out sponsors, that kind of thing? Family, friends watching?
Oh, just to the Gas Burn crew, those who couldn't be there, those who could, always love my Gas Burn brothers. To Sten, sorry he couldn't make it tonight, but we still enjoy his beer even if he's not racing.
Hey, speaking of your Gas Burn guys, when are we gonna get Hendrick back in here?
There was a glimmer of Hendrick last night during some practice, and he was going to try to make it tonight. So, unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I think we can see him next season.
Yeah, and summer's over. It's time to stop playing and start getting back to racing here, Hendrick.
Exactly. So, no, I hope to see him. It's always fun racing with him, and he brings a lot of energy to the league. So it would be great to have him back.
All right. Well, you take care, and we'll talk to you in I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that.
Yep. All right, Matt. Have a good night. Thanks so much for everything. Appreciate it.
No problem. You take care too.
Bye.
All right. Well, we don't have our wild card guy, but I'm going to bring up Perry here. Hopefully he's ready. Hey, Perry. This is Matt up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You weren't in the 7th position, but I don't see Peter up there unless I'm blind. So I'm going to interview you instead.
Sounds good to me.
Well, tell me about your race. You might have finished 8th and that whole thing, but you had a pretty good season. There's newcomers to the season. You're one of them that was like pretty quick. Andrew's up there as well, really quick. But tell me about your race. Tell me about your season, and tell me what you're thinking about next season, if you heard anything about it anyway.
Yeah, so this season was my first season racing and iRacing in general. I started playing and racing in May, so saw the league in either a newsletter or email or something from the car club and said, well, I'm not in Virginia, but I've lived there before. Maybe they'll let me join. And fortunately, Scott let me join. It's, obviously let anybody join that's wanting to race with us. So that's awesome. And had a pretty good race. It was a steep learning curve, not having ever raced with other folks on a track. So that was fun. And I definitely felt like I got faster, got better at racing in traffic. Still not perfect, as tonight showed. I was doing pretty good in 6th, right behind Brian, who's in 5th. I think I was a second behind him. Messed up the corkscrew, and I got caught by Aspen, and then finally got caught by Peter there towards the end.
Hey, I was just looking. I was admiring your livery here, and I finally figured it out. It's got the wireframe on it, right?
Well, that was the one a couple weeks back. I'm not sure what
that's what got loaded here tonight.
Okay.
Sometimes Trading Paints is a little odd. It loads everything new for me, but sometimes it bugs out. So
yeah, tonight in practice, it did something weird. When I guess it was Darren was out, and he mentioned on the broadcast in his interview afterwards that he was going to be out. I got excited about, racing a car with his logo on it. So I downloaded, all the programs and painted a car. And so it kind of bugged out on me and wouldn't let me race the paint that I made. And said I had to have the painter's approval, which was interesting. And then it switched to that old purple and yellow paint. And so I switched back to the wireframe. But yeah, it was a wireframe template that I found on Trading Paints. It was a blue with like a blueprint look to it, and that made me think of the blueprints my dad draws when he makes his custom cabinet. So made that car the first week, and then modified it the next week. What I raced the last couple weeks with his drawings actually as the background to all of the other colors. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think you, if you said you just knew, have you played any other racing, like, I mean, simulators, or you, I mean, obviously you probably played some games on like PlayStation or something like that, or is this kind of your first taste of it all?
Yeah, so I raced in, Gran Turismo growing up.
Okay.
And so this was the first time, actual simulation. So it's definitely different. And it's been a long time racing, Gran Turismo. So
Yeah.
like I said, steep learning curve, but it's been really helpful being in this league, learning with these guys, racing a faster car than I should have any business being in, for sure.
Well, I do the same thing because I run the Indy car, but it's also an expensive hobby, but still not as expensive as driving around with the real car. So
that was the calculus, right? Like buy an E46 M3 or buy a steering wheel and attach it to the computer I already had. So at the end of the day, it was an easy choice.
Well, great season. I hope to see you next season. So what we're doing over there is, we'll have a whole new schedule of 12 tracks, but we're going to be running the GT3 cars. Basically, the series always switches back and forth between cars. So it'll be the GT3 prototype and also the older BMW Z4. So you'll have an option, apparently, of which to drive each week, I think.
Yeah.
So
and Scott's got some surprises coming with all of that, and so I don't want to surprise it. But what I will say is that I've already made my wooden themed livery for next season. I've got a couple liveries actually already set to go. So I'm ready to go for the GT3s. That's what I usually race during the week. Not the BMW, but the GT3. So it's a car I'm more used to, the speed and everything. So it'll be fun.
It's got the traction control as well. So these cars didn't have the traction. Well, wait, sorry. No, they have the traction control, but not the GT3s have the ABS.
Right.
So
absolutely.
There's a difference there. That actually messes me up, that ABS. I'm not used to it personally. But anyway, great season. Look forward to seeing you back in a couple weeks' time, and take care.
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt. Have a good one.
You too. All right. Well, that's it for us here tonight. Bonus interview. And we will be seeing you back in 2 or 3 weeks' time. I think we had that schedule there right here. We'll be back not on the first race, but September 9th for Indianapolis Road, whichever option I might have. We'll see if I convinced Scott to do it. We'll see. But thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you back. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Treakle Insurance, SEO Mike, Beltway Brewing Company, and Hagerty, of course. So take care. We'll see you guys back in a few weeks.